All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Majid right here and BKO. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. In our next conversation, we have this one. Says that until you heal the wounds of your past, you will continue to bleed. This appears to be the case with the surviving victims of the alleged 1995 and 1997 coup plots. In a letter to President Bola Tinubu, they made a passionate plea, urging him to right the wrong of the past. The affected officers, after nearly 30 years after, called on the president to implement the recommendations of the Okuta panel, which investigated human rights violations under military rule and proposed reparations for victims. They highlighted the suffering endured by those accused of plotting against the military regime in the 1990s, demanding justice and further appealing to the president for favor to overturn their ordeal. I mean, Mojid, the victims of the phantom coup of the 1995 coup and 1997, you know, they're appealing to the president to intervene. I mean, talk to me. What kind of interventions are they expecting?
Well, I know that there was this Okuta panel.
Justice Okuta.
Yeah, that made recommendations. So, if you know, I believe government is a continuum. We want to heal the wounds of the past. And that's why that panel was set up. Most of the recommendations of the panel, just like the conference they had, the Constitutional Conference.
Confab.
The Confab, yeah, the Confab. They just dumped them. So why set up the panel in North-Eastern when you know that? I mean, you want true reconciliation. And then Nigeria was bleeding when Obasanjo came in. And this panel was set up, they presented. And some of the recommendations of the panel was that for the phantom, quote-unquote, coup plotters, the likes of Bello Fadile, Mokpai, Kone Gwadabe, and Gabriel Ajayi, who unfortunately is now late. Yeah. I mean, the Okuta panel recommended that they should restore, I mean, the government should write them a formal apology. I mean, to say sorry, so that then they should be reinstated.
Okay.
And their ranks restored. And also there should be a comprehensive rehabilitation package for them. Okuta panel was when? I mean, at least before 2007. Of course, it was during Obasanjo. So, successive governments from 2007 till date. So that's why they are appealing to the president that in the spirit of June 12, that they know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a compassionate president, is a
Democrat.
Is a Democrat. He should look at their case and use this prerogative of mercy, because they are suggesting that President Tinubu should probably set up a review committee to look at those reports and at least several recommendations, apart from the apology and pardon for the coup plotters. So,
I mean, Biko, why do you think the victims were ignored by successive administration, including the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who also suffered with the victims?
Yeah.
Why?
He was more concerned about pardoning himself.
Really?
He was more concerned about his own pardon than others. There are people, because when you talk of 1997 coup, I'm not sure it's phantom. Because even they made confessions. 1995, yes, no doubt about it. 1997, I don't think, except we want to rewrite history, because people were arrested. There was indeed a plot, you know, and confessions were made. So we shouldn't even be writing 1997 as part of. But 1995, I know that very well. And I did a cover story on that sent my boss, Kunle Ajibade, to jail. Really? I was the one who wrote that cover story for the news magazine at that time. there was no evidence. It's just like what we discussed yesterday. No evidence, yet you are bent on punishing people. People that had enemies in the army who are in high places. Some of them were taken, put in jail. So many of the innocent people. Make Paeda, for example, who was IBB's ADC when he was chief of army staff. He was a victim of politics. One of the most brilliant officers of his generation. Comes from a village near my hometown. He was arrested along with other fake coup that did not exist. Fake coup. They set up different panels that did not even validate the existence of the coup, yet they were bent on punishing people. So, at the time, let's go back to what transpired at the time when just before General Abdul Salam led power, he granted pardon to all of the people involved in the 1995 coup, including the civilians amongst them. So that grant of pardon was dated 4th of March 2025. In exercise of his powers as commander, chief of the armed forces, and in recognition of the fact that the constitution of our country even permitted him to do that. We had expected that it was Obasanjo, a victim himself.
Exactly, a victim.
That would be the one to pardon these people. He refused. And my boss, Kunle Ajibade, who was locked up in prison, was jailed along with those people. What was his offense? He was not even, he didn't know when I even began to write the story.
Oh.
That is what editors, that's the price that editors pay. I know that a lot has changed about our profession these days, but this is the way the editor bears the brunt. You run a story, it's the editor that they will come from for. You know? So Kunle Ajibade was intrigued that a man that they suffer together will watch all of them and not pardoned, and he would think that it was the right thing to do to not pardon them and be concerned only about himself. People like Konelemi Ajayi, his head was tied to a ceiling fan. And the ceiling fan, a switch it on, is dead now. He used to come here to tell us about what he went through. Now they are saying, look, one of them, Oba Colonel Olusegun Olontoba, is the Olugbede of Kogi State, the first class traditional ruler, and friend of my dad. He did a petition in respect of this. And that petition was acknowledged. Acknowledged on the, I think, I'm trying to look at the date, on the 6th of June 2024, the first one. He's done another one now that was actually on the 22nd of May or so this year. There's no way people in government will claim that they do not know about these things. President Tinubu was a fighter for June 12. He had to run away. They set his house ablaze. They did Radio Kudira together. They've been in government. If there's anybody should do something now, since Obasanjo has chosen not to do it, President Tinubu should do something. These people, they were supposed to be restored to their rank. I'm going to go back now to that recommendation of the Oputa panel, because we need to deal fully with this matter. the Oputa report, because he said that they should be restored to their ranks beyond even as you see, there are very many of them, because they were just even innocent civilians. Niromala, the journalist, different people. They were also being
they suffered.
They suffered.
Exactly.
They suffered. I want to make sure that so that the recommendations. Okay, in summary, the Oputa panel recommended some far-reaching and symbolic reliefs in their favor, including 1, quashing of all frivolous charges of treason against them by General Sani Abacha's junta. 2, promotion of all military victims to their appropriate higher ranks in line with their cosmates in the armed forces, and payment of all accrued emoluments from the date of arrest to the date of implementation of the Oputa panel report.
Okay.
Comprehensive rehabilitation of all military and civilian victims by the federal government. Letter of apology to all victims for wrongful arrest, torture, deprivation, debasement, and long years of detention in prison custody. And the letter of apology should be duly signed by the President and Commander-in-Chief. President Yar'Adua was determined to implement all those reliefs that were recommended, but unfortunately he died shortly after the Council of State under him ratified those reliefs in favor of implementation. So with the coming of President Goodluck Jonathan, the case was presented to him, but to their greatest dismay, he implemented only the reliefs for General Oladipo Dia and 4 others, thereby leaving the rest of them in the cold.
That's surprising.
During the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the then Honorable Minister of Justice, Malami Abubakar, son, tried his best to get all the reliefs in their favor, but it didn't happen. Now, they are pleading with the President to use his good office to redress this injustice.
Injustice, exactly.
So that once and for all, these people would get the justice that they deserve. Look at someone like Chris Anyanwu, for example, a journalist.
Okay.
Chris Anyanwu was Chris Anyanwu was State House correspondent, National Assembly correspondent for NTA. I used to watch her then as a young boy. She was the publisher of TSM, we call it the Sunday magazine.
Okay.
Because they felt she was close to one general that they didn't like. They locked her up. Innocent woman. And you think such people do not deserve justice?
They do.
Of course they deserve justice. Our nation should be seen as a nation where the primacy of justice is not in doubt.
Sure.
President Tinubu will go into the history books the same way that President Tinubu saw the coastal road that was first, the idea was first consummated in the 70s.
Yeah.
The same way that President Tinubu decided to now start that project.
About 50 years ago. Yeah.
Consummated in the 70s. I think around 1974.
Yeah.
He has started that project. Whatever anybody says, that project is going.
Sure. 51 years
You
ago.
can bring people who expected that, it should be, the road must be constructed 30 kilometers on a straight line. And when they got to 20 kilometers, they felt, that was where the job stopped. This is viralizing ignorance. But their own matter is another day. So let me know.
Exactly.
You know, viral ignorance on display in our country. When they were I went to do the documentary on the second Niger Bridge when they were building it. I saw similar things. They've done it up to this point. This area, they will leave it maybe because they are planning to
put a bridge or something.
Or culvert or something.
Okay.
Or that place is more swampy than the other part, and they are trying to give it attention. You now say, oh, that is where the road stopped.
Not knowing that it also started from somewhere else.
No, so the point that I'm making is the same way President Tinubu brought up that project that had been abandoned for years. He should, that I had not even taken up for years. He should also do something about the matter of these people. He should not think of the fact that, oh, Jonathan didn't do it. Oh, death didn't allow Yar'Adua to do it, because Yar'Adua tried his best. I mean, at least they've already approved that it should be implemented just before death took him. He should not bother himself about the fact that Obasanjo, that was himself a victim, did not think that his co-victims deserve a better deal. He should not think of that. He should give himself immortality by doing this. The same way that he has chosen to do Sokoto, Badagry.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was not consummated by him. That was a road project consummated many years ago. And he has come to say, okay, I will do it. All of those people saying, oh, we have not fixed, we still have potholes here and there. We've not finished all that. If you want to fix potholes before you do major highways,
don't do anything.
Until kingdom come, you will not even get anywhere. How many, for example, inner city roads in Lagos, how many of them are in a good state?
All right, gentlemen.
But it doesn't mean that we cannot do
new ones.
New ones. Okay. I've never, and those who are even shouting, oh, insecurity, we should face insecurity. Bad roads are enablers of insecurity. Robbers go and wait where they know that you will be forced to stop,
to because the road is,
slow down. You get the point.
Yeah, I get
they go there, and then when you slow down, they come out. Some of them wearing an army uniform. So this is our country. We want what is good. And it doesn't matter what some naysayers are saying, because they don't even know what they are talking about.
All right, Majid, many of the boxes of June 12, has been ticked. But there are still some boxes that needs to be ticked. What will be your recommendations?
Yeah, this, like Jide explained, not just the military officers who are involved in that coup. There are some civilians.
They mentioned Niramala.
Yes, like a journalist from the news, like not Kule Ajibade.
He went to jail.
Yes, he was jailed. So he should be paid reparation. Yes, and quickly on that 30 kilometer, what David Umahi, an engineer, what he said was that section that was left was sandfilled and it needs 6 months to settle, which is the normal convention. It was not immediately that they sandfilled the place we are today, because this place was sandfilled. This is a co-Atlantic. It's not immediately. You need to allow it to settle. So that area that needs 6 months to settle, they left it. So I moved forward. And as we speak, work is going on in 3 locations: Lagos, Calabar, and Delta, totaling 167 kilometers. But they will come and tell you it's only 30 kilometers they do. So it will take. So if you not divide,
I saw a video made by a so-called journalist that was saying, "Oh, see, this."
Some people are so. See,
that's why I say it's so-called journalists.
Those naysayers.
Without training.
Exactly.
I call them internet rats. Some of them want to trend. I mean, for whatever reason. But we have urchins on the social media now. Yes. They call themselves journalists. The moment they buy the data of 500 naira. I mean, thank God now MTN has even. I mean,
it's painful that people in other professions. You are a scientist, you are a pharmacist, you are this. You don't want us to talk about how ethics of our profession are being violated. A profession that we risk our lives for.
I know how many courses
years
I've done in journalism.
I don't understand. You say we must not talk, that people don't need training. Is anything wrong with you? How can you say people don't need training? Do you know how many sleepless nights we've had? You risk our lives for this job. The day, what's his name? The day Agbon died.
Okay.
Once we got to know at midnight, I had to travel at midnight. The job that we've taken risk for. Some people have now come to now take over that job, and you don't want us. You don't want quacks as doctors. You don't want quacks as pharmacists, but you want quacks as journalists. What have we done to you that you want quacks to dominate our job?
The day Abiola died, I was in Concord as a staff. We were all crying, but the paper still came out following day.
The
job must be done. We were all crying that our proprietor, our publisher, has died in Missouri. All of us were crying, but then the editor keeps telling us, guys, it's
put
sad.
Your emotion aside.
That's the thing.
The paper came out the following day with a black masthead.
That's the training.
We changed it from green to black. So what are we talking about here?
The day Abacha died, he was buried around 9:30. I was this close to his corpse because, unlike other people, I decided to go and stand near the clerics who were praying on his corpse. His body was draped in light blue, a sky blue cloth.
Okay.
After that burial, I went straight to Galadima, where my office was. I didn't even take any dress off to Lagos. I brought the picture to Lagos. The kind of risk that we were taking at that time. We refused to run away. Some people fled to Ezra. I said, me, I will not run to any Ezra.
They just Google.
When my mother saw that my name, I would have been among these people that were put on trial. When they declared me one time, my mother saw it. She was crying. She cannot understand why I'm doing the job. She was crying. But I said, no, and I will not leave this country. I will stay here. People who contributed a few lines to my story, some of them left Nigeria. They got multiple visas. They traveled out. I say, I will not leave. This is where we die here. So whatever happens.
Exactly.
If I didn't run away from Abacha and I was operating from his hometown and I was doing big stories, if you enter my office, one of those, you will see one of those awards, 1997 Best Investigative Journalist in Kano State. It's not something that started today. We were taking those risks. We love the job. The problem we have with journalism today is that it has become an all-comers affair.
Now, cleaning up the system.
A lot of the people who are in journalism today is because they couldn't find any other thing to do.
No, that's not supposed to be.
Yes.
But anyway.
The passion is not there, the love is not there, and they are even reluctant to learn. When you tell them out, this is how they say, no, this is my style.
All right, then. It's a fine place for us to leave it, Moji Jami. Appreciate you as always. Going down memory lane, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank
you. Thanks.
Very passionate as always.
And that's president must do something about this.
He needs to. He needs to.
Sure.
And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.